Hi, everyone. Welcome to Poetry Street. This is the room without a roof where every voice is heard. I'm so happy that you're here at the Riverhead Free Public Library and also all of you at home on Zoom. We'd like to start Poetry Street off with a land welcome. New York City and Long Island has always been the gathering and trading places for many of the indigenous people. We acknowledge that we are guests on this land, and we are situated on the unceded and ancestral land of the Lenape, who are the original caretakers. Also the Canarsie, the Shinnecock, the Montauk, the Reckonawalk, the Mansay, and the Haudenosaunee. We acknowledge and respect the many indigenous people who live on this land and continue to make ongoing contributions. And now I would like to introduce you to my co-host, the Emmy Award-winning Maggie Bloomfield, who will tell you about our three wonderful features, beginning with Patricia McCue.
The natural world have appeared in various journals and anthologies. She often plays traditional Irish music on the fiddle at local sessions. Her first chapbook, entitled Chatter in the Wind, was recently published by Pennyfield Press. I believe her book is for sale on the table. Please help me welcome Patricia McCue.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, everyone who came out and everyone at home. I'd like to read a few from my Chatter in the Wind. Okay, this first poem is about a trip to Ireland. It's called Mosaic of Grey, the Burr in Ireland. Stretched out on a slab of limestone, I see boulders scattered, as if a giant's game of marbles was cut short. Listening closely, I hear chatter in the wind. Could lie here forever and dream. Between the massive stones, purple wildflowers emerge, glorious in their achievement. A lone snail, cloaked in mother of pearl, glides across the karst landscape. Is she headed for the famine road? Echoes of a dark chapter, or back to the safety of a fissure? In this tranquil place, I feel inspired to create another lasting impression, a tune, an ode to the Burren, a mosaic of gray on a verdant island. This is in honor of my grandmother from County Sligo, Ireland. Reading tea leaves. We waited for the tea to steep. Perfect shade of brown, I took a sip. Stronger than water, weaker than coffee, it tasted like home. Visiting my grandmother as a child. After our tea, she would read the leaves. Her cup needed sugar, 2 teaspoons and then a good stir, not once or twice. One time we counted, it was more than 20. Clink, clink, clink. What was she thinking about as she stirred? The Sligo cuckoos? Did the rhythmic clinking remind her of their call? We often spoke of these migratory birds, known to lay eggs in other birds' nests. Unfit parent if you'd ask me, said Grandma. Not like the Puffins, great co-parents, each pull their own weight. At the end of one chat, Grandma swirled my cup 3 times, turned it over to drain, studied the remaining patterns of leaves. I see you more as puffin than cuckoo. I thought that was a good thing. I started learning fiddle as an adult, as a surprise to my parents who loved Irish music. And I started learning myself. So this is a reflection of that first lesson. The portal. I approached the ivy laced mansion, rented violin in hand, pulled on the iron ring door handle, unaware of where this portal would lead. Turned away, no lesson, teacher was on a cruise, and persisted. Turned away, no lesson, teacher is sick. On my third approach, the portal opened to unimaginable joy. Let my violin lessons begin. Like Dorothy entering Oz, not in Kansas anymore. Music, camaraderie, challenging my brain, learning tunes by ear, challenging my hands, ornamentation and bone. Inside the mansion, a spiral staircase of mahogany leads to another door. Catskill's Irish Art Suite. Book in progress about my heirloom fiddle. Another door leads to poetry. This room is filled with vases of white gardenias. In the midst, an oak desk and a Waterford lamp. Music reverberates throughout, bouncing off stone. Jigs, reels, slow airs accompany me as I write, sending ripples through the blooms. Words dance off the page, shared with others. I put down my pen. There are more doors to open. Okay, this is some advice I got at a fiddle camp about music. Good? Yeah. This is called All Notes Go to Heaven. Some of the best advice on playing music was heard at a fiddle camp workshop in County Clare. All notes go to heaven, she said. Don't be timid with bow on strings. Give it more pressure. Play it like you mean it. Every note wants to be heard, so whisper. All notes go to heaven. Once played, they don't get played again. I tilt my bow slightly on edge, press down, pull it across the string, sending the notes skyward. Sometimes two strings are struck. Notes in unison, a double stop. They go to heaven together, intertwined, graciously welcomed by the celestial choir. Okay, this poem is for my grandchildren, called Domesticated. Sad will be the day when they are domesticated. No longer dramatically covering their mouths to hide their glee, stumbling upon words so new on their lips, mispronouncing so eloquently, wonderful baby talk. Each time I visit, new words emerge, strung together 2, 3 at a time. Crude, rugged sentences, earnest attempts to communicate. Gestures add inflection, noticing the power of words. Please, thank you, sorry. Practicing phrases in the car seat. I love you, as his sister babbled. Realizing how words help when overwhelming emotions surface. Slow down nature's clock. Let me savor these moments, witnessing the birth of language once again. So those are all from Shatter in the Wind, and I have 2 from an upcoming collection, which is this is reflections on my career in teaching for 28 years, teaching science. This first one is called On the Day They Fell. On the day they fell, there was not a cloud in the sky. I wore a black cardigan with pink beading. During my math lesson on evens and odds, the principal walked in. That didn't happen often. Did you hear about the security event? He quietly asked me. I had not. I looked out a south-facing window, past the sea of buildings, billowing smoke, Manhattan. Parents arrived in a panic to sign out children. Worried teachers waited with students until they were picked up. We had no answers. I don't remember details about other Tuesday mornings over the years, but on the day they fell, the images and feelings remained. Okay. Yeah, this poem is this is about reflecting on the last day of my teaching career. It's called Past the Lavender. As I exit the parking lot for the very last time, I glance behind me Where are they now? My trunk filled with artwork gathered over 28 years, as if they were my own kids. Yes, I taught them Newton's laws, but they taught me patience as I gave them wait time to process their thoughts before speaking. They made me laugh as I searched Google for the ugliest animal in the world and dog stroller. They should have been following the lesson. They made me cry. My first year of teaching, the third in a string of substitutes for a rowdy 7th grade class. At times, they made me question my choice of career. Holding attention, more difficult as distractions evolved. Competing with rubber bands, paper airplanes, fidget spinners, then cell phones, smartwatches, AirPods. When masks came off, there was lip gloss. Writing on hands, indelible ink, bracelets hid self-inflicted cuts. Time at home had taken a toll on mental health. 28 years, I learned a bit of science and a lot about the intricacies of tweens. I sit here with those students in the rearview mirror, looking at the stretch of road ahead. It winds through fields of lavender and meets the horizon. Are there students on the other side? A rubber band soars across the cloudless sky. Almost go with it. But thank you. You can do one more. Could do one more, okay. One more favorite. Which movie? Witnessing Willow. Love willow trees, page 24. So I thought about all the willow trees in my life. Witnessing willows inspired by Psalm 137. Wise willow of Babylon, holding harps on willing branches, joyful songs will have to wait. Flowing leaves, a peaceful distraction. Winsome willow by Eastchester Bay, overlooking the rise and fall of tides, your delicate tresses tickle the grass as squirrels gather fodder for nests. Graceful willow by the highway, I look for you each morning, going 60 in the right lane. You wave me on, the Indy 500. Weeping willow of the preserve, leaves heavy with snow. Are you sad to be so still? You will dance again. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that was wonderful. Let's have a big hand. Patricia, you're in the neighborhood, so we hope you will become part of the Poetry Street family. Okay, our next feature is our Zoom feature today, and he has quite a reputation. Jay Vegas is an award-winning poet, actor, and photographer who serves as president of the Poem Stars, a premier spoken word poetry collective dedicated to changing the world one poem at a time. Whether through a photograph or a verse, his work seeks to bridge the gap between our societal masks and our truest selves. Help me welcome Jay Vegas.
Where I'm from, people are dying, bulls are flying, and babies are crying, searching for their parents' arms so they can get away from harm and escape to harmony. Parents try to find money so their children won't be hungry. And you say you know me? You don't know shit about the tears I've shed, about the blood I bled. I have to live my life so my children could have a chance to get ahead, because I don't know if I'm the next one in my neighborhood dead. You don't know how it feels to walk to the store and have to constantly look back, because you might get attacked by someone of your own race for the color of your baseball cap. What you know about living in fear? Your character being judged by the clothing you wear. Where I'm from, selling drugs and robbing people are the biggest careers. And you think you know me? You have no idea how it feels to see your mother cry, because she got a phone call saying your brother died. Tears rolling down her eyes that will never, ever dry. And the more you try to be strong and hold it in, the pain gets worse inside. What you know about being a black man trying to just live his dream? So don't you dare tell me you know what I mean, because you don't know how it feels. How it feels to see your culture being killed. It's a pain from a scar that will never, ever heal. You don't know me. You don't know anything about where I'm from, and you never will. Thank you. Poem. So, again, my name is Jay Vegas. I am, like they say, the founder of the Poem Stars. We are a poetry group, collective, trying to help with mental health and social change in our community. So the reason why this whole thing came about is because I ended up receiving help that I didn't know I needed. When I was introduced to poetry my senior year in high school, and as soon as that year started, 2 weeks after 9/11, my little 14-year-old brother was murdered, mistaken identity, shot in the back. And it was fortunate for me that poetry was there to help me as an outlet, to get whatever I was feeling, all the emotions and stuff out. However, unfortunate for other my cousins and brothers and stuff like that, they didn't have the outlet, and they chose more destructive path. And I see how that can definitely, impact somebody. So I say that poetry saved my life. Um, so I'm gonna get into my next poem. Everyone asks me about my name all the time, Jay Vegas, where you get it from, how is that your real name? And I wrote a poem about it. Y'all want to hear it? All right, well, here it go. Everyone always asks me, where you get the name Jay Vegas from? Like it's some flashy stage name. But my name was born from bullets and heartbreak, from prayers whispered through my mother's pain. The J, that's for Jose. My little brother that was taken away, 14 years young, gone before the sun rose on what should have been his tomorrow. Supposedly mistaken identity, but the grief was no mistake. Death chose the wrong boy and left me and my family carrying all the weight, making the pain that much greater. I remember that night because sirens were screaming louder than prayers. The street lights that witnessed it, they cried too, flickering off and on like they couldn't bear to see the truth. And after his funeral, I moved into his room thinking I could keep him close, but the only thing I was keeping close were ghosts. Nightmares so vivid they felt like reruns of the crime. The same gunfire, the same screams every time. I was losing myself while trying to find him, contemplating suicide. I had the plan. I had the note. I even picked a night. But before I could end the fight, before I could put a plug on my own post, God spoke loud and clear and said, don't you dare kill yourself and make your mama cry twice. Don't die for him, live for him. You can rewrite your life. That's when everything changed because God said, I got you, and showed me how to turn pain into purpose, suicide into survival. I rose up out the darkness and Jay Vegas was born that day. The J is for Jose and Vegas because I would never, ever stop shining his light. Plus, Vegas don't sleep and neither do I because love don't rest and grief don't die. So when they ask me why they call me Jay Vegas, I tell them it's not a name, it's a reflection. It's the resurrection. It's the covenant between me and heaven. It's God's protection. It's my brother's soul stitched inside every letter. It's me saying, I'ma shine for you, Jose, forever. It's every tear that fell out of our mother's eyes, reborn as a spark in mine. So every poem I write, his soul defies the grave because every time I touch a mic, his soul takes stage because I'm not just living for Jose, I'm living with Jose. Two souls, one purpose. Until my time on this earth is done. So no, Jay Vegas is not a stage name. It's a sacred one. So that's the poem. That's where the name came from. I always want to honor him because without him, I might not be here. And you know, it just showed me how amazing poetry could be, how life-saving, how touching, and that's why I started the Poem Stars. We bring in, light to poetry. We bring in making poetry cool, showing that people, especially men, that it's okay to cry. It's okay to show how you feel. The reason why a lot of grandfathers are not here and grandmothers are here is because grandfathers were born in the era where you gotta be strong and silent, where they was drinking away the pain, they was drugging away the pain, and instead of asking for help and letting it out. So men, we have to do better at just dealing with our emotions and things that we go through. And poetry is a great way. So I'm gonna go on to my next piece. Can you love a broken man? Can you love me while I figure out where all these broken pieces go? I was born in a million-piece jigsaw puzzle, trapped in this flesh-covered box we label a body. And no, I don't need you to fix me. I just need you to love me. Love me while I fix myself. See, if you could love me unassembled, even though my heart is broken, I still love you with all the broken pieces. If you could love a broken man. And all I'm asking for is for you to be patient because I've been trying to put these pieces together for a long time and still I'm broken. I put pieces in the wrong place. I put my heart where my brain should have been, and my brain where my heart would have been, which had my brain feeling instead of thinking. It had my heart thinking instead of feeling. It had me believing that so many people love me without ever proving it. See, I'm broken. Like the bones of a body that fell from a skyscraper, I'm broken. Like hearts left at the altar, I'm broken. Like single parent homes, I'm broken. Because I was raised in a single parent home, I'm broken. Looking for the love my father never gave me, I'm broken. Looking for the love my mother never left me, I'm broken. Looking for it in everybody that I meet, hoping that I finally find it in you. If you could love a broken man, can you? Poem. All right. How much time do I have? I don't know. I just go.
One more. One more.
I got okay. Um, so I'm gonna do something. Leave on a lighter note. Since I started so heavy. Um, so someone, my little niece asked me about like what is it like being a poet, and it sparked a conversation that thought in my mind, like being a poet. How would I be able to describe what being a poet is? Couldn't describe it to her because she's little, but I can describe to y'all. All right. So here's being a poet. Being a poet is equivalent to a collect call because it's a calling that you pay for. On pages, we battle eternal trauma, and with these pens, we wage war. Strapped with metaphorical bombs, so you better take cover. Our thoughts are constantly reflecting like two mirrors facing each other, searching for apologies that are never found, but excuses that are constantly discovered. Being a poet is trying to find yourself by being lost in your words with no direction. Your worst times becoming your greatest expressions. It's living in a maze of emotions, utilizing poetry as a compass and pain as a map, trying to find the center to a labyrinth of torment without leaving breadcrumbs to make your way back. It's finding purpose in your pain because it's similar to rain, the way it sprouts out new poems. Being a poet is hoping your hurt helps heal the heart of a human you haven't had the honor to meet. It's premeditated pain, purposely penned on paper, providing power to our pineal glands. It's being an exorcist to these introspective thoughts that constantly roam because ghosts of dark days became squatters and made it their home. Being a poet is being a starving artist, but the only urge we crave is putting words on the page or performing on the stage so loud it could be heard from the graves of our ancestors. It's a tidal wave of anxiety from relationships that sank before they were set to sail. SAIL. Pain pinned on pages set to sell. SELL. Sold discounted to be sold set to sell. SALE. See, we are gifted coal and we make diamonds. We are aligned with the finest intuition because our mission is inscripted and encrypted in God's timing because we don't just know the assignment, we are the assignment. We are hope for the hopeless. That's what it's like being a poet. Thank you. So, if you guys want to follow me on social media, again, it's Poem Star P A P A P O E M S T A R underscore JJAY underscore Vegas VEGAS, or you can follow my poetry team, which is Poem Stars underscore ENT on all social medias. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys. That's in the library. I wish I was there. This is my first time doing Zoom, and it feels weird. It's like I'm talking to myself. But hopefully,
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. All right.
all right.
Excellent.
All right.
That was so powerful, Jay, and so moving. Thank you so much. Let's hear it one more time.
Thank you. I feel I can't even. I see people clapping. I can't hear anything, but thank you.
They're clapping.
Yay.
Trust us.
Good job.
And
You
by
come
the
back
way,
after the open mic.
the features will come back after the open mic for one encore.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Our last feature is a very active man. Tony Iovino is the author of the poetry collection From the Land of Sidewalks and Lawns, published by Words with Wings in 2025, and the novel Notary Public Enemy. His work has appeared widely. He founded and hosts the acclaimed Summer Gazebo readings in Oceanside and the international online series, which is just wonderful. I recommend it to everybody. On the series is called Poetry Near and Afar. Please help me welcome Tony Iovino.
Normally, I would thank Maggie and Chip for this opportunity. However, putting me after Jay was really not a nice thing. Wrote my first poem in 4th grade. My next poem I wrote in 2007 after I started the Summer Gazebo readings because Judy Turk, who's on here, heckled me to death about it. We okay? So the first one that I wrote was this: Echoes. Kermit's laughter lingers where thing one and thing two once scurried while the owl and the pussycat sailed away, and we whispered hushed goodnights to the moon. Now the child enters, asking daddy not for a bedtime story, but for the car keys. Really, I know Maggie has the rules about clapping. You don't have to. Don't worry about it. I was raised in Massapequa. The title of the book is From the Land of Sidewalks and Lawns, and yes, that is me and my mother. I broke the poems down into 3 categories. One is kind of family and being raised up. The second one was about travel, which was something that we never did. I never one time in my life went on vacation. First vacation I went on was my honeymoon. But so my wife and I have been able to travel a good deal. And then in some that I just kind of lopped together as kind of philosophy and just general things. This is summer 1968. There is no great river here, no raft to sail with a runaway slave, no flying laboratory to share with Tom Swift. Native spirits don't rise under a full moon from ancient graveyards to haunt this suburban row. Just Chevys and Fords in every driveway, dads pushing mowers, moms cooking dinners. There's marches and riots on TV, but they don't come to this neighborhood. No protesters trail the good humor truck. No chants ring out, just Pavlovian bells. Jesse James and his gang don't gallop down this block. No pirates pillage Tacapusha Pond. The only thief hereabouts is the high school bully who cheats at flipping cards, taking the 3rd graders' cardboard heroes. 3-card Monty meets Tops. August sun baking in the summer boredom. He imagines the Soviets invading, how he'll hide behind Mr. Tom's bushes and hurl rocks at their tanks, or ride his Schwinn ahead of them, Paul revered with a banana seat, to warn, to save. Holding his thumb down tight over the end of the hose beneath the water line in the blow-up pool, counting down from 10, he starts the liftoff. Hose water splaying like the exhaust from the Saturn rockets, and he dreams of being first to the moon. Blazing, backs against the picket fence shaded by the old sidewalk elm, the old boys talk of jungle war and muscle cars and girls, always girls. He looks down the block as they banter, watches an Impala turn left at the corner, disappearing behind Mrs. Fish's hedges, heading for the main drag. He wants to sail away, become a privateer, storm exotic shores. He longs to ride a train, one that doesn't have a dashing commuter as a logo, maybe a freight train rumbling long through the night to the square states on the map. He yearns to explore new worlds, be the new Lewis and Clark or John Glenn. He wants to pitch for the Mets. He wants to be president. He wants to bike down the block, turn left at the corner, and follow the road till it ends, until there is no more pavement, no more levitt houses, no more picket fences. Just go right until there's something else, ride hard until there's anything else. Progress. Arms aching, back groaning, with the case of Poland Spring I struggle. From shelf to cart, from cart to car, from car to house. Wouldn't it be grand if someone could invent a system to bring water directly to our homes? Perhaps we could use pumps and pipes, maybe some sort of spigot device could be fashioned to turn the water on and off at will. Oh, how far we have come. Our poor ancestors had to haul water from river and spring in buckets and pails, not us. All we have to do is drive and carry from shelf to cart to car, from car to house. The land of sidewalks and lawns. They were 20th century sodbusters, pioneers of the latest frontier that expands between the city and the farms, a land of sidewalks and lawns. The men of my youth were rough-edged, raised on city streets, honed tougher by service to their country in Europe and the Pacific and Korea. Whether it was the pull of the green grass or the push of the black faces, they left the old neighborhoods and followed their post-war dreams to the land in between, where the concrete ebbed and the hedges flowed. They cut their own lawns, fixed their own roofs and pipes. They didn't call the guy. They relied on each other for a tool or a helping hand. Their plots of land parceled out by Levitt might only be 50 by 100, but when they went to church on Sunday, they gave thanks for their blessings, as proud of their land as scarlet as of Tara. The men on my block worked with their hands mostly, and when asked what they did for a living, they rarely gave a job title or even an employer's name. No, instead they said with pride, I build F-14s, or I built the new school across town, owning their work product regardless of pay grade. I cannot prune a tree in my yard or swing a hammer in my basement without thinking of them, these quiet men of my childhood, clean white t-shirts, tightening lug nuts, strong tan arms tensed, a lucky strike dangling from their lips. Where and when? Dripping from the shower, I can't tell where the ice cream begins and the pecan pie ends. Where exactly in this paunch are the chocolates, the cookies, the Doritos, the salted peanuts, the buttery popcorn? Where have I stored the donuts? I can't recall the ordinary days. I can't recall the ordinary snacks, but they left gray in my beard and bulk on my belly to let me know they were here. Chantilly Field. A sunny wandering April drive, mapless through the French countryside, rolling fields of bright, brilliant yellow rapeseed and whispering sweet spring-scented blossoms fill our senses. We crawl through narrow ways, ancient clusters of moss-covered buildings, cobblestone streets lined with gnarled greening trees, which in their youth doubtless welcomed triumphant GIs along their liberation march towards Paris to the south. A small sign atop the door, a quick park, a slow entry to a small shop, breezy flower blossom scent replaced by an enveloping aroma, warm butter and bread and sugar. Bonjours and pantomimes guide us in this pastisserie of heavenly delights. We lean quietly against the car, faces turned to the warm French sun, hot bitter espresso in one hand, warm flaky croissant in the other, crumbs breaking off for the small darting birds. A destination reached we hadn't known existed when the day's journey began. I want to drink with Hemingway. A bottle of whiskey, maybe two, in the shade of an overhang outside an old man's bar in the Keys, a lazy fan circling above us as the blazing tropical sun fades to an explosion of color to the west. I want to drink with Hemingway, a bottle of the house red, maybe two, at an umbrella table outside a bookstore along the Seine, the shadow of Notre Dame before us as the Parisian sky fades to a pink only the city knows. I want to hear his secret treasures, tales he denied his royal quiet deluxe, of seafaring voyages, storms and fish and salt, of weary war nights, pain and fears and hope, of dangerous foes, bulls and sharks and women. I want to drink with Hemingway a piping cup of sweet cafe cubano, maybe two, at an iron filigree round top outside a cafe in the city of columns, as we work through our hangovers from the dark rum and the darker stories yet to be told. Okay, I do this one because we have obviously a lot of poets and writers in it, so bear with me on this one. But first, let me. My clothes are all washed, folded, and put away. My desk is neat, all papers filed, pencil sharpened, stapler loaded, paperclip jar jammed to the brim. I have written lists of life events I've planned, projects to do, places to see. The floors are vacuumed and polished, each room dusted and scrubbed. Even the inches of wall behind the light switches are wiped free of offending dirt. My car is washed and waxed, oil changed, tires rotated, gas tank filled, radio stations reset for my current favorites. No weeds remain in the beds or the freshly mown lawn. I've rearranged the shed, emptied the garage, and then filled it again. There's enough seed in the bird feeders to save Tippi Hedren. Old clothes are in the donation bin, used cans in the recycle bin, potato peels in the compost bin. I've called my father, my brother, my sister the elder, my sister the younger, my grandfather, aunts and uncles, my cousins, first, second, third, and removed, my nephews and nieces, neighbors, old friends, new friends, acquaintances, old workmates, new workmates, teachers and coaches and Cub Scout leaders. I've had tea with Jehovah's Witnesses until they've begged to leave. I've cleaned the pantry and the freezer and scoured the bottom tray of the toaster oven. I've cared for my person from hair to toes and all in between in detail too gross to mention. I've watched TV shows and DVDs and cleared out my DVR. I've listened to CDs and MP3s and rearranged dozens of Spotify playlists. I've signed up for every streaming service and binge watched every single episode of every single show. I've answered all my email, forwarded all the chain letters, Googled everyone I've ever met. Signed as many online petitions as I could find, even for causes I don't support. I balanced my checkbook and sent in all my warranty cards, including the one for the George Foreman grill I gave away last March. I've checked my horoscope, tackled the crossword and the jumble, subdued Sudoku and whipped Wordle. I have the hockey standings memorized. I've gone to the library, the bookstore, the dry cleaners, the supermarket, the fish store, the deli, the jeweler, the card store, the florist, the donut shop. I've gone to the cigarette stand, though I don't smoke, the bodega, though I don't speak Spanish, the tuxedo rental store, though there's no formal in my future. I've taken my pills, my flaxseed, my vitamins. I've baked and seared and barbecued, roasted and braised and fried. I've showered and bathed and napped. I've daydreamed and nightmared. I've hoped and I've prayed and I've begged. So it's almost time to write. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'll give this quick plug. The two programs we started at down in Oceanside, through the Oceanside Library, which by the way has a poet in residence, along with great program run by Peter Dugan, and a whole host of other stuff, is the Summer Gazebo Readings. It's our 20th season. Every Monday night in June, July, and August at 7 o'clock, we have 4 authors or poets who go. We have no open mic. Our typical crowd runs between 80 and 100 people. We sell sponsorships and use that money to send underprivileged kids to summer camp and to support literary programs through town. Please come out, free dessert, just bring a lawn chair. We'd love to have you. I still have open spots. I am looking for people from distant lands like Suffolk County. So please get in contact with me. The other program Maggie had mentioned is on the off season from September to May, coming out of COVID, we do the first and third Monday, we have poets near and afar. So it's one poet from New York, one poet from afar, which has been everywhere, literally from Nepal down to Jamaica, I think 30 some odd different states, Canada, Mexico, 4 or 5 European countries. And that one we do have an open mic. So we hope that you'll join us, and thank you, Maggie, and Chip, thank you so much.
Oh, that was stupendous, Tony. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for Tony. And let's hear it one more time for our wonderful feature. Mike, can you hand me the open mic sheets, please? Thank you. We are going into the open mic. Let me remind you, one poem, not a terribly long one. And you know, you don't have to do a long introduction, just read the poem. We're gonna start in the room. Oh, yes, I didn't do that. Sure. Okay, so why don't we start with our Zoom poets? Claire, who do we have?
We first have Megan and then Randy. They're the only ones who've signed up, but we'll go through others.
Oh,
It's filling up now.
It's filling up now. Okay.
So we're gonna start with Megan, and just give me a second, Megan.
Okay.
Megan Doyle.
You are spotlighted. Go ahead, dear.
Okay, great to be here. This poem is called We Were Quadruplets. I never touched phlox, honey sweet against jagged rocks, yarrow flourishing in thin soil. I never touched my brother's hands, never heard their laughter, sparkle air that they didn't have the chance to breathe. Yet I leaned toward them, never held, still growing. Earth, rich with past season stems, cool, alive, and rising. Thank you.
And we're gonna go to Randy, if I can find him.
Randy Cutler of a
There he
big
is.
page.
Yeah, I've unmuted.
Go
All
ahead.
Okay, May freaking 30th. Bright blue, sunny morning, but an untamed, chilly wind roars through the trees. Leaf shadows dart on window pane like kids playing dodgeball. Distant train whistle squeals. Flashback. Yesterday was a chaotic brain day. Sent an email without the attachment. Claimed database script was fixed. It failed. Marked Monday as vacation, not a holiday. Midnight. Replied to my online poetry group. Thanks for the feedback. I revised the point of view. In bed, crap, I meant verb tense. I'll change it in the morning. Awoke. Had 2 comments waiting. Meditate, exercise, take meds, plan and schedule. It helps, but I'm managing a room full of toddlers. Aha! I have a job where pay is nil, rewards infrequent, and boss is often angry. I so want to retire as manager of my mind. However, the role is permanent, so my choice. I work it, or I resign and watch a bunch of screaming preschoolers run around my classroom all day, every day, for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Okay, that was great. Okay, we will move to the room. The first poet to share with us in this room is Steve Barakin.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hi, family. This is such a beautiful place. This is a piece from a book coming out in fall called Acre's Door. If you guys are familiar with the Bible, you'll understand the reference. My pieces tend to be a bit dark. I was going to go light, but screw it. So this is written. I'm going through a bend running things at 3 o'clock in the morning. So here we go. Let me change my glasses so I don't make a mistake. Everybody in Zoom land. Okay, this is called Seasons and Battlefields. The seasons die in slow motion, each one collapsing into the next like a tired animal folding its legs beneath itself. I feel its aging in my bones, an ache that isn't a pain so much as a recognition. Winter's whispers linger in the corners of my mind, even as the sun rises earlier, insisting I behold its small, stubborn miracles. There are mornings when the light touches me gently, as if it remembers who I used to be. Other days slicing through my windows like a verdict. Love has been a battlefield in all the human forms it has possessed throughout my life. At first, I entered unaware. Then, knowing its apathy, I entered yet again, not naive, yet unwillingly armed. Yet willingly unarmed. Willing its eagerness to be enough to sustain me through my emptiness. And sometimes it did, but sometimes it did not. How can one such as me utter a word of battlefields without understanding first that triumph knows nothing of battles? Triumph comes to me, flatlined in the aftermath of some quest, some self-satisfying journey, looking for its own pulse, thinking us both dead. Sometimes it slithers quietly in dark corners, as if it's embarrassed to be seen, fearing it might display an unpleasant side of itself to some if confronted on the wrong terms. I gnaw at it, I rip away at its very flesh, stealing all the parts and pieces that I can grasp. Sometimes my thievery rewards me with a brief and steady inhale, moments with peace and without dread. A small pause to watch the world soften for a single heartbeat before the symphony that life contains returns to me. I've taught myself that it's possible to keep going even when my map is burning. Even when my compass spins like a drunk. It's in these moments I scream into the void that is the vestiges of my beloved being. It is okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. There exists in me a valley that splits my soul in two, and through the darkest part of my descent to its bottom, there is a splintered yet living light that haunts me. It seeks a way in. It is a thin, trebling thing, but it is real. It is proof that even broken things, such as I, can glow. I walk in 7 decades of dust, carrying battlefields of every single season in my past. I am clay. I am living. I am a dying thing, reworked, reborn, and ever-changing. Knowing the sun will sit with its silly little miracles will rise whether I want its promise or not. Maybe that is enough for now. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, next up will be, people didn't put their last name, so next up will be Sean, and then Joan Beverly, stand by. Okay. Sean?
Revolution's Eve, with 2 lights in the steeple, Paul Revere rides to warn the people. Paul Revere riding with William Dawes, they never stop for a single pause. They ride all night, Dawn lets up its early light. They fight, you can hear the rifle call until all the British fall.
Joan Beverly, and then we will go to Zoom. Let's hear it for Joan.
Poem is called My Magic. You lie in a hospital bed in the emergency room. An EKG monitors your heart rate. An IV hydrates you, replaces the fluids you lost an hour ago. I sit at the foot of your bed as you sleep. The rhythm of your breathing comforts me. I am the angel between you and the staff of nurses and doctors who attend you. I offer my skills, reflexology, Reiki, prayer. I wait for the moment when you hold my arm to exit the hospital doors. I want to create an invisible shield for you that the harsh world, the unexpected crisis cannot penetrate. This surge of protective feelings that moves in quiet crescendos controls me.
Claire, we will now go back to Zoom to Judy Turek. You can hear me? And there we are.
Here I am. Thank you, Patricia, Jay, and Tony. Terrific readings. And thank you, Claire, and thank you, the library. So I am delighted with a new book. Not going to play poetry roulette. I'm just going to pick a number and I'm going to say, for the first time ever, I'm going to read poem 1. Progression. Nike. I'm sure you're tired of hearing how I miss you, how that sneaky thief time stole from us the future of what could be. But faith teaches me what should be, will be. And it's better now. I smile more, cry less. Years have softened the torment of heart and mind in conflict. Unsolicited, I still relive those first days and months, the deep ache severed by a searing scorch that shattered flashbacks of good days, shadowed over rough spots I refuse to acknowledge. And then, when the sizzle of pain dulls, I imagine what today would be like if you were here. No 5-year chasm between that time and now. Would you still be the big brother I looked up to, counted on, doted on, though I know you wished I wouldn't? If we weren't related by blood, would we still be friends? Would you still come over on weekends, rough house with the dogs, walk through my gardens, pull weeds, trim roses? Oh, before I forget, your roses, your favorites, I'm sure you know I was a garden thief. Transplanted them in my front yard and they, heavenly pastel orange blooms, are flourishing. Like me, despite the challenge of filling in gaps of memory, feeling guilty for forgetting such rich snapshots of 58 years together, still missing you. There, I said it again. Forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
I don't know if Kathy wants to read, everybody else, and possibly Laura. Let's go to Kathy.
Kathy. Let's hear it for Kathy.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for the readers. Very, very fabulous. Patricia J, Tony, and Maggie. And Tip, thank you so much for this venue. Sorry not to make it out by car today. Impossible. I put a soft cushioned chair in the hall for you to sit. You chose the stoop and left the hall empty. I cooked a potato leek soup on the stove for you to eat. You decided this was a good day to fast. I opened the heavy door to the house for you to walk through. That moment, apparently, was a good day to stroll. I asked you to be here when I got home, to keep you safe and sound. You left for a private place, and now I cannot find you. Home.
We'll come back to the room. And next up is one of our founders, the incomparable Bubby Brown. With a new poem and a new shirt.
This is a wonderful place. I don't think anybody could come to Poetry Street and not leave a better person. It's your fault. I really want to say this and get it out of the way. I wrote this poem a couple of weeks ago. And I was so proud of myself. I called Maggie as soon as I had written this poem. And it meant so much to me, not because of the content of the poem or the subject matter of the, but it was the first real poetry that I had written since 2019. Because in 33 days, I lost a daughter and a son.
Oh, no.
And I couldn't write.
Oh, my God.
Stuff would go through my head, and I just couldn't go from here to here. But I got this, and it was stimulated by something I heard on, I can't even remember what it was, but it was something on TV, on the news, that just ticked me off. And this is the result. Sorry, folks, I can't wait no more. I've come to this small decision. For a political hero to rise to the top, it's been too long and no one has risen. I'll still cast my valued ballots. For this right, too many have died. But the two-party system has seen better days, and the weight's fallen all on one side. Millions of American women and men, lives have been upset and shaken by a leader who disregards all we have gained and all he wants he has taken. This decision I have come to, no one will notice, only me. And it won't cost one single dime. The decision was all scot-free. I'll not support political folk complaining about the guy on top when we know all the time that you helped him get into that spot. Did you really expect to get fair play from a 30+ convicted felon? Then you'd be the one to plant corn seeds and expect to grow a melon. He is filling up all of his pockets
Next.
by enacting illegal laws. And the dollars he's stuffing his pockets with, the money is mine and yours. The names you put on our ballots to protect our every right. In the midst of a worthwhile battle, you turn tail instead and take flight. Don't waste your TV commercials on me about power and who you are. If you had that much get up and go, we wouldn't have fallen this far. I believe God is rolling up his sleeves, saying, I gave you all my best, but you squandered and abused most that I gave and refused to share it with the rest. The part that really eats me up is when God cleanup is through, this whole nation is going to pay the price, including me and you.
So we're gonna pop her in if she's still with us.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it for Bobby Brown. Okay, Laura is apparently going to read on Zoom. So welcome, Laura.
Hi, hello everybody. Happy Saturday. I'm going to read something because it is the beginning of the summer, and out here in Sag Harbor, we're a traditional African American community that we have here. This is a poem that I wrote in honor of them, and I'd like to always open up my summers with this poem. It's called Sag Harbor Summers. Lucky were we who began metamorphosis by way of expressways, breaking concrete cocoons, spreading adolescent appendages, wiggling toes at Earth's edge. Bleached sand speckled with almonds, cocoa, pecan, playing R&B version of beach blanket bingo among low melanin mortals. Spreading copper tone like double stuffed Oreos flipped inside out. We worshipped raw as if we were exempt from melanoma. Darker hue of Hampton venue, the not seen but be seen, imitations of white gone technicolor in summer surf and sand. Fresh air fun for the franchise, our gang called Clicks with midnight curfews. Signs posted private property didn't refer to our private schools, private communities, private lives. We didn't care about the talented 10th, only our two top tits. Dr. Show flip-flop feet, twitching Jordache behinds. We were the have among the have less, hoping to have more than we ever had before. Segregation was what we did with our meat and vegetables, our plate always full. The world our oyster, we ate crunching on the pearl. Entrees of career du jour, salads mixed with ivy, dressed with parental procurements. We smoked under quixotic trees, drank with Chevis and a black Johnny Walker, played with snow in the middle of July. We were the dream Martin had on that mountaintop. We climbed with no safety line, homogenized illusions of top of the corporate ladder to the cookie jar. Some made it halfway, some hit the ceiling, some only collected the crumbs. But lucky were we who had Sag Harbor summers, bombastic bourgeois brown beings, Negro Neros playing our violins while Rome burned 100 miles away. From my book, Rites of Passage.
Let's hear it for Laura Tucker. Okay, we are back to the room. And next up is our own Dina Yabel.
So I just want to introduce it by saying I'm a psychotherapist, and this poem is sort of about that. It's called Trying to Meditate on the Deck. The afternoon sun is burning my unprotected skin. No time for lotion. Vegetables arranged in the wok by color. Quinoa soaking in bone broth. Salmon defrosting, starting to cook. Cats in the bathroom, all sounds silence. Close eyes. Start breathing. Slow to the count of 10. In, out, in, out. Breathe in, imagine streams of healing light entering the cells, bathing them. Breathe out the poisons. See them waft in warm air, dissolve, float skyward. I remember someone said that the air of 1,000 years of outbreaths still circulate. Breathe in, out, out. Who was that text from? An emergency? Patient in crisis? Don't get hooked. Breathe in, breathe out. Hope it's not important. Breathe in, breathe out. Or maybe it is. Stop. Back to the rhythm. In, out, in, out. I bet it was Herbie. He was on the verge of suicide last week, but he never called again. Stop. Start again. Watch the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out, in, out. Maybe I should call him just to check. Dan, start again. In, out, in, out. I could breathe in the air from Shakespeare's time, or souls that died in the plague. Breathe. It's been 4 minutes. Maybe that's enough.
Hooray, Nina. Hooray. All right, let's hear it for Jen Sem.
Hello, it's nice to be here. So my semester just ended and I wanted to bring in something fresh for all of you. So I just wrote this. It's in its infancy. It's a very early draft and it is called Time Telescope. Oh, references to movies from Generation X, are we? Yes. Okay. Time Telescope. Reality didn't bite yesterday. Ferris Bueller didn't take the day off. The virgins didn't die by suicide. And today, there were no fast times at Ridgemont High. Last year, the Bears were bad news, and no one stood by me. We were the outsiders, and business was risky. Bill and Ted, their adventures were long ago, but I saw the movies just last week. Or has it been 40 years or more? I live back in the future because trauma uses a telephoto lens. Trauma runs time through a telescope and distorts the calendar again and again. I confuse days with weeks and months with years. A decade is 2 years ago. It is the apocalypse now because trauma keeps time with a telescope.
Right. Okay, next up is Janice. Woo, Janice.
Okay. First of all, I'm so impressed with all of the talent here today on the Zoom and in this room. My mother Dottie is here and she has for years been trying to get me into poetry and I resisted her. I was like, not poetry. But I have come to fall in love with it. So this is inspired by the creator. He told me what he sees beauty as opposed to how the creation sees it. It's called Beautiful. Whew, fashioned by the almighty artist, put together wonderfully. I was what he wanted, what he needed, to fulfill his purpose through me, no matter what the world sees. My Father thinks I'm beautiful. He made me with his loving hands. I'm part of his perfect tapestry, precious lace fashioned by his hand. Walking in the dark, never knowing who I was. Sorry, I'm so nervous. Walking in the dark, never knowing who I was. Till he touched my eyes and he showed me beauty came from up above. Looking in the mirror placed before me, never satisfied with what I'd see. Images comparing and destroying the masterpiece of God's creation until he brought me to his perfect truth. My Father thinks I'm beautiful. He made me with his loving hands. I'm part of his perfect tapestry, precious lace embroidered by his hands, by his hands.
Thank you, Janice, and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Dottie. Mom.
Well, we know Father's Day is coming up soon, and I wrote this many years ago, but I thought I'll read it today. My Janice, she encouraged me to do that. Yeah. Spoken love for Father's Day. For my special dad. My dad stands tall amongst them all. His Polish humor makes you laugh and fall. He loves to read and used to house paint. Now retired, he has no complaint. During the war, he served his country proud. Back home, he met Anne in another crowd. Then he put himself up for bids by marrying Mom with 4 little kids. Through his toil and strife, he gave us all a new life. He is our hero, our one and only. Dad was there when we were sad and lonely. Mom struggled with health and pain. Dad worked hard and remained sane. Mom is gone now, no more sorrow. Dad continues for us today and tomorrow. His quiet strength is needed, especially when times get heated. We thank you, Dad, for all you've done. You are loving, caring, and a lot of fun. I just want to say that when I brought this to the Long Island Advance many years ago, they said, oh my goodness, we've never heard someone bring a poem for a stepfather or stepmother. So I was one of the first.
You go, girl. Thank you, Dottie. I hope you ladies will come back. Next up is Diane. This is called the voting season, which we should be in, but I'm not sure where they're at. It's called Dreamboat. She powered toward her port of call. He swam Olympiad strokes in her wake. Once at her side, his hands cleaved to her starboard gunwale. His majestic body heaved onto her slick deck. He sighed. She sank. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next up is B.
All right, people, it's only my second time reading, so I'm a bit nervous too. This poem is about youth, or how I remember it, at least. It's called Cravings. Lick your lips for the taste of salty sweat and honey tears. Bare feet aching for places unseen, braving searing pavement and ascending mountain ranges within the peaks and valleys of your body. Slick skin on skin, milky teeth cutting for blood, quenching your parched throat with thirst for life. Surrender to cravings so deep, they run like a river underneath your paper skin, carving canyons into your flesh. Canyons like labyrinths of blood and bone, every turn a revelation, dead ends forging uncharted path, like pioneers in space, but writing maps of you. Dare life to turn flawless words of truth to foolish dreams come true, then chew you up and spit you out. So what? Heart pounding for more.
Yes, beautiful, babe. Is there anybody left on Zoom to read?
Zoom, no.
Zoom in the room, Linda? No, you're not reading today. Does Chip want to read?
Chip has an audio issue with the party
Okay.
behind him.
Okay. Is there anybody who hasn't read who would like to read? Besides me, of course. I shall read. This poem is called The Weather Today. This is the season when I never know what coat to wear or what jeans will keep me warm in the morning and not make me sweat by 1 o'clock. This is the season when yellow, white, and purple crocuses push their heads through all that melting winter snow, alerting us that actual lovely spring will be here soon, but not soon enough. This is the season when you disappear to putter in the garden, and I start planting the begonias, hibiscus, tomatoes, begin pulling out that frilly little weed that thrives in every pot, no matter how I try to control it. Sometimes in the yard, we both get lost together, picking up twigs, dumping soil in pots, trimming overgrown forsythia, planting seeds. Briefly, I recall another planting as I sat on your lap in the pool house years ago. And attempts at naked sex in the pool, ending with wet hugs and laughter. We grow old together, just like we promised. Our garden has become our marriage bed. Thank you, everybody. We will now have the features come back for an encore. Okay, who was first? Patricia, please come back for an encore.
All right, this poem is called Holding Peace. In the darkness beneath Orion's belt, I hold you gently in my hands. Peace, why are you so elusive? You are called for in prayer. Peace be with you. In song, give peace a chance. We struggle daily to find you, forgetting that peacemakers are blessed. It begins with us. Soft as cashmere, rhythmically cooing like a dove, tempted to keep you close, yet sharing you will be like the sweet fragrance of honeysuckle lingering over a lake. You are needed to solve conflict within countries, families, our own minds, building bridges, not walls. So fly as the new sun rises, beautiful, pure white dove.
Just beautiful. Okay, and now the amazing Jay Vegas. Make sure he's there. If he's there. Is he there? He's so cute.
Jay, please unmute yourself. We can't see the lid.
All right. Yeah, I'm good?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh man. All right. I'm at the clinic and my emotions are bugging because you see, I don't want to be a father before my husband. I don't want to be out here hustling. I don't want to be out here struggling. I don't want to be out here trying to turn nothing into something because of unprotected love, and I'm feeling disgusting. They're about to take my seed out of the oven before it's done. Could have been daddy's little princess or my money-making son. Could have been the next LeBron James, the next Beyonce, or even the next bum. It could have been whatever, but now I have none. My conscious ways to turn, I can't escape the pain. This is a lifelong decision I could never change. I think about it when it rains or when the sun shines or when the wind blows. I think about it all the time. Can't pry it from my mind. My heart plagued with greed, ready and willing to do whatever to succeed, to stack G's. So I made my baby leave. Protesters outside screaming, "You're not a real man," but they don't understand if my money was right, then I wouldn't have ran. See, they don't understand that this this wasn't part of my plan. I mean, damn. How do you say goodbye before you say hi? Before my baby made it to this world, I sent it to the sky. So to my unborn child, Daddy, apologize. Home. Thank you.
Just amazing that. And finally, last but certainly not least, Tony Iovino.
We want to end light or dark, people? Light? Okay. Dark. I want dark another thing. We're gonna keep this one light. I cannot commit murder. That's like, I cannot commit murder, how often I've dreamed of it, driving on the Belt Parkway. I cannot commit murder, not because of morality or religion, but because I could never choose a last meal. Should it be steak and garlic mashed potatoes, creamed spinach and cornbread from Morton's in Chicago, or a buttery hot lobster roll, cold coleslaw from Red's in Maine? Maybe cedar plank grilled salmon caught fresh just north of Seattle, farm fresh veggies. A cheeseburger and fries from All American in Massapequa, vanilla shake. A steaming pot of mussels and wine sauce, warm baguettes, crisp white wine from that bistro just outside Paris. Maybe tortellini from Rome, or fish and chips from that pub along the Thames. Chicken and red rice and mole sauce from San Antonio. Catfish from New Orleans, barbecue from Memphis. How about pizza from New York with chicken and broccoli from Flushing? All with pie for dessert, of course. But which pie? Apple crumb, pumpkin, pecan, peach, blueberry, cherry, Boston cream. It's too much. I could never decide. That's why I cannot commit murder.
Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you, everybody. Let's hear it for the features. And for everybody who read in the open mic. What an afternoon. Thank you for coming. Please come back next month. It's our anniversary. I think it's our 13th anniversary. 12th anniversary, Claire.
And where could I find the information of the times and
you know what, if you sign the sheet with your email, I will send you a flyer. That's true for everybody, okay? All right, everybody go out, protect yourself against the wind.